Hello everyone. Very good afternoon. Maybe we should have started in the morning. It just moved away. That's okay. How are you all? Show of hands. How are you all? All good? All good? Okay. People can come friend, I guess. Okay. So, yes, thanks for coming. Thanks for being here on this event and trying to probably support the community initiatives that we have in AWS as well. So, let me start. I guess if you are all settled. Just give me a minute. Internet issue. Yes. Thank you. Okay, let me start. Okay, so first let me start with who am I, right? So how many of you know Hera Ferry? How many of you probably fan of Babu Bhaiya? All right. So we're going to have them somewhere in the slides, so to make it much more lighter, right? So I'm Someshwaran Mohan Kumar, so basically known as Som, right? And I've been an open source enthusiast for a very long time. I've been working on the community side, and what makes me stand here is basically who knows ELK, ELK stack, Beats, Logstash, right? So I work in a company called Elastic, which does the wonderful products behind it. So basically the ELK and Logstash, whatever we have, it's been made by Elastic. And I work as a developer advocate at Elastic. And I try to make sure run the community across India. And this is my short intro. So now, why I'm here, right? So I want to talk about why I'm here, why we are trying to make sure this event is delivered by the community of Elastic, right? So first thing we want to talk about is agents, ESQL, and you. So how many of them have started working on agent side? Agents, okay, yeah. So I'm sure today there are much more talks on agents. So I'm just going to keep it very light. So the first thing is let's make this much more interactive. I wanted to make sure all the front row guys feel free to talk. What I can make a promise by end of this session is we would go something much more curious, what you can do with the agents and how Elastic is able to solve that problem for you, along with how AWS is also involved in the Elastic Agent Builder platform. So let's understand who is here, right? Who are all, basically you guys. How many of them are developers? Show of hands. Okay, so maybe 70%. How many of them are SREs, DevOps? The last benches? Oh, thank you. Okay, we have maybe 10-15%. Any students? Okay, fine. Then the next 10%, yes. So basically, you students, you have to reach out to the professionals. This is the platform for you guys to start talking about what is AWS is doing, what is Agent Builder, what is Strands, and all those things. Make use of this platform. This is where you start shining, start understanding how professional environments have been growing a lot in the last couple of years. Now let's talk about, these are the glossaries basically. So this is all the terms, jargons that I'm going to talk today. And don't get overwhelmed. Few of them will already know the professionals, but don't get overwhelmed. I'm just going to make it much easier in something that we understand. Okay, so just bear with me for the next 20 minutes. Now, how many of them think search is important or not important? Like maybe, is search still important? That should be my question. Anyone? Okay. So why do you think search is important? Maybe if someone could give a mic to Jones. Yeah, you can go ahead. Exactly. So the search has become much more important right now. Is because usually when we used to search, right? Let's say 5, 6 years back before the GPTs came into the picture, the search was happening much more traditionally. It's like you search something and then you start going through each, right? Let's say you have web pages running through, you would see this phrase, right? So Google search done in the next 300 milliseconds and it is millions of pages that's been processed and it's available, right? It starts from page 1 to page 100 and you never go page 2 as well, right? Because you start searching what's happening in page 1 and start going within the page 1 itself. So that's where actually it happened. It was more of traditional search before ChatGPTs. And how we have processed right now is more of, it became more conversational. It is more of conversational. It made summarizing the complete web pages. Let's say even there are 100 pages. Where it shined is more of, it summarized the complete context. It tried to make it more easier for you guys. And now what we are trying to do is we're just trying to chat with ChatGPT or GPTs to understand what it actually means, right? It gives you exactly what you're looking for. It narrows down the actual niche and then it gives you. Now, the major reason why I'm talking about conversational is how it started catering to your intent. The reason why we got addicted to ChatGPTs or something, right? So it's basically, it catered to your actual intent, right? Whenever you're asking something about what food, can you tell me the recipe of something, it exactly tells you the recipe. It does not give you the links to refer to, right? It tells you do this is half tablespoon and all those things. Likewise, there is intent. So if you have seen this search before, right? So now you started searching in a way where it tries to look for inferred signals, right? So now here is an example. So whoever thinking about what is signals, how it changed, right? So let's say I have a query saying that show me eco-friendly running shoes under 100 euros. So these are the parameterized queries. So basically in the backend, it tries to understand the signals from it. So when you say eco-friendly, it tries to understand it should take sustainable materials. And from there, it tries to see, okay, so running shoes, is that a category? Is that a category of shoes that I have to actually look for? And as you see, there's also a bucket for your actual rate as well. So it is like price filter for 100 euros. Now, it understood actual signals from it, and it starts providing catered results. As you see here, these are sustainable material shoes that actually comes up and from different parts of the globe. And then what is the price? Is it below 100 euros as such? And this makes sure it understands your intent, tries to provide the results based on what you actually require. This is where search has evolved from where we are seeing millions of pages and going through each everywhere. Now it became just this is your answer, just look into it, and this is where now moved from just copy pasting whatever ChatGPT has been talking, right? So why Elastic? Why I'm talking about Elasticsearch here is let me take you a detour of the Elastic story in search and how VectorDB has been a key in Elastic, and just probably I will take you through that part. Now, how many of you think Elasticsearch is just for search, just known for search? Right? And how many of you think just ELK is just for logs? Just for sending logs? Yes. So now we have, if you think ELK is just logs, then you're missing out the better part of it. So there we have search, is one vertical where we talk about all the vector DB, semantic search, RAG, and let's say if you want to talk about the summarization that we are talking about, and all these things part of a vector in a specific vertical called search. And there is other two verticals, which is observability, where you actually ingest logs, and from logs you start to probably get more insights, analysis of what exactly happening in your stack, in your applications. Basically the SRE and DevOps were making use of it. You would be much using the observability side of things, right? And we also have security, where security stack is also comprised of threat detection, how we can probably understand the pipeline of the attacks and all those things. And specifically talking about search, like I said, it's easy plug and play. You can just immediately start using it. And previously when we were using search, it's more of lexical search. How many of you know keyword search, who were using keyword search for your websites, right? The terms. So now it has been evolved. So those been the days where we were using keyword search. But now it's been evolved to more of lexical, the semantic search, where it looks for vectors. It tries to understand the actual expansion of your actual synonym, let's say the keyword itself, right, in different ways. That's where so Elasticsearch actually shines. Today I want to talk about more of the search space than observability or security. And like I said, it just, you have, when you talk about ELK, it's not about just logging. It's more about the other parts of search, observability, as well as security. And let's dig further on the search part. So if you see, I want to talk much more on vector search. Now, just a detour of what we have done in search and how vector has been into picture of Elasticsearch. Now, you see here, right from 2017, we were supporting machine learning nodes. Trust me, I'm not selling anything, but I'm just trying to share the story of where we are, from where we started and where we are right now. So as you see right now in 2017, where vectors were not much in the market, right? Basically, that was not the way of adoption of the market, right? So we were still started to support vector search from 2017, 2019. And we were one of the heaviest investors of our underlying platform, which is Apache Lucene. So Lucene is where we have built on top of it. So we have been started contributing to Lucene, which is an open source full text search engine, now a vector engine as well. So you can see here how memory reduction, and right now we are in the space of 2025, where we are able to probably talk about quantization, reduction of footprints of your memory with respect to vectors and all those things. Now, let's talk something that makes sense, right? So now we are like talking about all vectors, all the stories and everything. Now let's get to the part of use cases and what actually Elastic does. So you will understand this when it say matches, right? How many of them know this? Show of hands, it's okay. You don't have to use it, but you know about it, right? So basically, it's Tinder, right? Tinder is actually not just a matchmaking maybe platform. It is more than the matchmaking platform, right? It is also an engineering marvel where it is trying to understand your own personal traits and trying to understand basically what is the underlying layer, what you require, what you need, what is your likes, favorites, unlikes, and all those things, right? And on top of it, it tries to probably give you the right matches. I'm just using this on a very light basis because Tinder has been using Elasticsearch for a very long time, since 2017 when I said the story of how we try to probably involve vector search. So Tinder has been doing this where they will be leveraging all the semantic aspects of Elasticsearch. So if you have 100 personal traits, it understands your traits and trying to understand what's your likes and try to provide matches based on it. If someone is very unhappy with Tinder that you don't get matches, don't worry, you just need to probably tune your actual personal traits and it will automatically find the right matches. And if it's not happening, don't blame Elastic, right? So this is one use case that I would like to probably share. And the other one, as Mumbai being more of a financial capital, right? I would like to probably share some logos where people are using Elasticsearch on top of it. We have much more, but this is just something that I would like to share. These are banking services where we have been using Elasticsearch for a very long time. And even in SEBI, with respect to talking about the compliance matters if you are being a financial person. SEBI actually have 10 more clauses making sure if you're using Elasticsearch. If someone coming from a Smart India hackathon background, you would clearly have how you are leveraging Elasticsearch, how Elasticsearch is being used in security and something like that. And let's stop here. So basically, let me take something in action. I want to show a very project that I have did and use it for myself with respect to Elastic. And I will cover how AWS has been supporting it, right? So how many of them vada pav pasand hai? Anyone? No? Right? So today's actual talk, the agents, ESQL, whatever I mentioned, right? It's actually this vada pav only. So basically it's the search API intent, whatever interface you have, chatbot, and you have Elasticsearch MCP as well as the function calling, tools, everything within the vada pav. And then if you need AWS Bedrock, you can just have it, and in case if you need some else, maybe other connectors or something like that, you can make use of it. But the actual plate, right, it holds, the complete interface or the platform that it holds is Elastic Agent Builder, which makes things much more unified. So I want to tell you something. Basically, you can follow this demo along with me. So this is a blog which I have written, which has all the details for you to go much more technical. People who want to try it out, the technical tutorials on your end, I have written everything in this blog. You can just run through it. You can try to play around in your local environment and how Elastic can help you. You can create your own tool with respect to how AWS is working in the backend. You don't have to worry about connecting, getting your secret keys and access keys from AWS, because we have something called as Elastic Managed LLM, which has AWS in the actual background. So now let me take you through the demo. So who have used NA10 before? NA10, right? So NA10 makes things, it's more of a workflow, right? You create workflows and then you try to ask maybe create some functions around it, and it tries to create the complete app out of it, right? So that's what I'm trying to do here. Let me increase this. So this is the actual workflow. I've created a basic expense tool that I can make use of it. And that expense tool is used by Telegram because I don't want to have my own app or website or something. So I'm just using a Telegram bot, and basically have two flows. One is ingestion flow and one is query flow. And ingestion flow still has the Elastic, which is ingestion into Elastic, all the expenses that you do. And the query flow is having Elastic MCP server. If you see here, the Elastic MCP server, so it quickly understands how it's trying to probably reach out to Elastic. Here, for the sake, I'm using AWS Bedrock client because I can connect to other clients as well. But in case if you wanted to use the inbuilt managed LLM of Elastic as well, you can start using it. You don't need a separate AWS Bedrock. Anyhow, the Elastic managed LLM is running on AWS Bedrock and Claude Sonnet version 2. Let me take you through the demo. So now you see here, I've just given it much more easier because it's much more non-clicky, or let's say it's more of voice interface where you just say all your expenses, it takes your expense, it ingests your expense into Elasticsearch, and whenever you are asking query on top of it, it tries to give all the expenses. So let me probably add some expense maybe now. Wish me luck. Can you add an expense for my coffee that I've taken today morning, which is 11th of October, and I paid around 800 rupees from my credit card HDFC. Okay, so now I've given some input. So basically, I've told it about my expense. So it starts working now. It starts taking. It tries to understand, and yes. As I've given, it do support text supported. You can also have, as the reason why I voice is much more easier, because how many of them use expense tools? You just click on accounts, savings, all multiple clicks, and then you probably add your receipt and everything. So it's currently in my GitHub. You can try it out. You can just copy paste it and it starts working. So it's much more easier to track your expense. Yes, now I see it is already ingested. And if you see here, it clearly tells you add an expense, paid 800 via credit card on spend for coffee. So now this tells you how it actually sent it. Now coming back to Elastic, you see this is the Elastic Agent Builder interface where it has, you can create your own agents. I have created my agents here with respect to taxi receipts, which is actually my Uber receipts that I have to take care of, and expenses agent, which is the agent that I'm trying to use here as well. I'm trying to send all the expense details to this agent. So whatever queries that I do, right, Elastic will automatically start getting that queries based on this agent that I have probably set up. So if you have been using this, right, so when I was supposed to use AWS Bedrock with AWS Lambda and then trying to probably create the agent builder interface, right? Basically using the OpenAI schemas and everything. And this method which I've started using with respect to Elastic Agent Builder, it actually abstracted it made things much more unified than using the AWS Agent Builder. But end of the day, it is in the backend, it is working as AWS Bedrock only. And this is how you can take a look at your data. So I'm just trying to add, showing here. Yes. So if you see, this is October 11, and this is the actual, it got ingestion, whatever the raw transcript, and I have something called a semantic hall, which is run tops of your, actually the embeddings and vectors, and this takes care of the semantic expression. Whatever, let's say you are talking about, you want to add some expense on top of it, right? You want to ask about an expense of coffee or a credit card or expense done on HDFC, right, to a specific bank. Or let's say if you're having Zomato or if you're having any text, right? So basically it understands the context of it and tries to provide expense on top of it. And this is all done by Elastic itself. So now as you saw the ingestion method, I'm just going to show you how it's done on the query side. Can you give me all the expenses or taxi receipts expenses that I had for this year? So now I'm asking all the taxi receipts expenses. I have not activated my Enflow, I'm just activating it here. Yes. Now you see it takes care of the unified, and the ingestion was in the tops, and now the query flow has come down. So I have created a confidence gates that will automatically reroute your queries based on it. Now this is going to Elastic MCP, and it makes sure it creates something called as ESQL, the query flow. Basically, there are different queries. You can make use of Elastic MCP, try to make sure you get the ESQL features on top of it. Now once it processes it, I hope it should not have too many requests from AWS Bedrock. Let's see. Okay, so it should not come. Okay. Yes. Now if you take, it tries to give you exact transportation expenses for 2025 and all my Uber rides and what other patterns actually happen. And if you see, it tries to understand basically all the average trip cost. Basically, it does aggregation on top of it, not just search, and it gets you all the data and put that in a specific bucket, and what is the pattern recognition on top of it. And this is all done by Elasticsearch MCP, and it gives the data to the AI agent, and it just processes in the natural language process, and then probably push it to a Telegram. And this is the very straightforward. This is a very, very high-level project that I have did. You can just try to make use of it. I have that opening where I have given in the blog as well. What I have done is basically, I was using Fast API, the AWS Bedrock agents, models, Lambda, just unified it everything and have it Elastic Agent Builder. And using the Elastic Agent Builder MCP, it starts working as if you don't have to probably do it everything on the AWS Bedrock side. And in end of the day, the Elastic Managed LLM that I mentioned, it runs AWS in the backend. That's how Elastic has been complementing back to AWS agent. So this is my demo. Good that it went well. Yeah. Yes. So I'm about to conclude. So this is our Elastic community. So we have communities across India. So feel free to join Elastic Mumbai user group community or Elastic Pune, wherever you're coming from. We have specific communities, communities around India. And if you want to try any workshops on Elastic, feel free to scan it, start using it. If you want to try to work with courses as such, you should be able to do it. And feel free to connect with me in case if you have any doubts, if you want to talk about Elastic, you do something much better than the expense tracker tool, feel free to talk to me. We can have a chat. We can start working on the community chapters as such. I can probably give you an opportunity to talk in our upcoming meetups and conferences. And we can do that. And thank you. That's my time. Feel free to meet me in the Elastic booth we have outside. Thank you very much.